You know what, I think, I talked about it, I think last week, there's some positives and negatives to it. I think, if anything, it gets you back out on the field, and that's what we're here for, is to play games. I think, specifically talking about Cincinnati, it's a difficult team to have a short week on because of what they do schematically. That coupled with the players they have on defense, it's going to be a challenge for us. You watch their film, and they're mixing things up quite a bit, so it'll definitely be a challenge, really having really one kind of practice / walkthrough, not seeing those looks full speed against a scout team. I mean, that's tough, but in the same sense, you look at, afterwards, it's almost essentially a second bye in a way. So, you look at it when, even going back to last week, you have 2 games in 11 days. You know that it's going to be a grind for those 11 days, and you have to do whatever it takes to get the most out of yourself, your teammates, and the entire team for those 2 games, and know that after that you get a little bit of a break. So, we definitely know that going in. People are in here getting extra treatment, getting taking care of their bodies, and that's really the hard part is, when you play an NFL game, it takes almost 3, 4, 5 days to recover, to where you're ready to play another one. Where on a short week, you're going to have to play with some bumps and bruises.
Can you put into words just how much it would mean to this team, to this organization, this city, for you guys to win this football game?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Obviously, playing a division opponent, you never have to say anything more than that. The Battle of Ohio, playing Cincinnati, right there, second thing, you can talk about. And then playing on Thursday night on national TV, I think, we know what's at stake, and we know what's going on, and we're not taking this lightly at all. And, I think, not much more needs to be said than division opponent, Cincinnati on the road, Thursday night football. I mean, that's what that's what you come here to play in these type of games for.
How about the concentration that goes in the games that are meaningful at this point of the year? It's got to be more so than when you're, 4-9 or whatever.
Yeah, I've never been in a situation like that. Unfortunately, I was hurt for that last year. I mean, every year I was in New England, every game was meaningful all the way through December, January, February. So it's nothing that's new to me. I think every game is obviously meaningful in this league. I mean, you get too far behind at the beginning of the year, and you're really not playing for much at the end. So we've put ourselves in a position for the second half of the season to play these meaningful games.
Might last year's game against the Bengals have been one of the most satisfying days of your football life?
Yeah, for sure. Looking back, playing my first start at home, playing the division, rival opponent at home, and getting a win, long drive to cap off the game to kind of put us in go ahead, or we were winning, but to kind of seal the deal was definitely something special.
What comes back from that game?
Just the one play that always stands out in my mind was hitting Jordan on that pass across the middle, setting up the game, kind of solidifying the score. I think that's the one play that I always go back to when I think about that game.
Brian, what do you think of the team's mental state when it comes to preparing for the big stage, and how important is it for you to kind of set the tone in that respect?
Yeah, I think if anything, it's almost better to have it on a quick week. You don't have much to think about. You really have to get in here and focus on the opponent, focus on your game plan, because it's such a quick turnaround. If you think about anything else, you're going to be off your game. So, you know what? I mean, this is the NFL. If people want to watch the Browns play, they order Sunday NFL ticket, whatever it might be. So I'm sure there's been plenty of people who have seen us play. I think for us, obviously, that this is an opportunity to go out there and play in front of the whole country, where you're the only game that's on. So it's something that's fun for us. I mean, this is really our only chance. We didn't have a Sunday night game or a Monday night game, so it's something we've been looking forward to for a long time.
Brian, we've talked about your willingness, no matter the situation, to look at anyone on offense and go to them with the football. How much do you think that approach and that attitude has helped really generate some cohesion on your side of the football, that willingness to, no matter the situation, no matter who it is, to just go ahead and try and get them?
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, it shows the trust that I have in my guys, and when you have a system like this where, it's kind of predicated on going through the reads and not so much, the people, and you have faith in all of your guys out there, it doesn't ever, worry me to go through my progression knowing that, well, number 2 is so-and-so. No, number 2 is, if that's where the defense is telling me to get the ball, whether it's Hawk, Miles, Gabriel, Travis, the tight ends, whoever it is, I have 100% confidence in those guys that if I get to the right place and that's what the defense is telling me to do, that they're going to make a play. And I think, so far this year, those guys have shown they can do that.
Ryan, is it almost good sometimes for a quarterback to play in 4 days if you have a hot hand, almost like a pitcher in a 4-day?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think for football is such a unique thing where, you're used to having Wednesday, Thursday, Friday game planning where it's, one day is first and second down, the next day is third down with a little bit of, short yardage, and then the last day's, we have to cram all that into, 2.5 days. And I think, on these short weeks, you really just have to, obviously study your opponent, but focus on what you're doing, because if you go out there and you're not really sure of what you're doing, no matter what you know about that defense, it's kind of going to set you back. So, I've tried to do as much, studying on my own of, Cincinnati's defense, and when I come in here, it's all about learning what our game plan is, how we're going to attack these guys and go from there.
Do you think the run offense is going to be better this week, and if so, why?
We'll see. I mean, this is now the third week with the same offensive line unit in there, and as I said before, it's cohesion. There's 5 guys working together, plus the running backs learning, going how, off their blocks and things like that. So, I think we're making improvements, and we just got to go out there and execute.
When did you personally start watching Bengals film?
Sunday night.
So you weren't watching last week?
No. I mean, I watched Sunday's game Monday morning, but Sunday night I watched 2 games of the Bengals.
Hey Brian, you kept those cleats that you had on the Thursday night game from last year. Why did you do that?
Oh, maybe I'll wear them this Thursday. No, I think it's a significant moment in my career, and everything that led up to that moment. Really, I blame the cleats because my cleat got stuck in the ground. Maybe it was the grass, I don't know, but I think to keep that and realize that getting to that point in my career took everything to get to that point, and then to keep those, because that's kind of the second part of my career in the kind of way I look at it.
Do you look at them once in a while?
No, they're back in the back. Yeah.
Brian, what kind of sense do you get that this moment won't be too big for this team?
No, I mean, you know what? It wasn't too big for us last year on Thursday night. Unfortunately, I went down with injury, but even after that, the team stepped up. People filled in, and we won that game. I mean, at this point, if you're at this point in your career, you've played on multiple, national stage games. Guys have been in Super Bowls, playoff games. This isn't like the high school team playing on the weekly Friday night game on TV. So, I don't even think that goes into the back of our minds. It's more, like I said, it's almost better to have it on a short week where you have to focus on your game plan. You have to focus on studying your opponent, and really that's kind of the furthest thing in your mind.
When you compare last year's moment to now, how much more do you think fans, people in the NFL know about your game and what you can do, and how can this week,
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's not something I really get concerned with. For me, right now I'm thinking about how Cincinnati's going to play us on third down. So, that's my main focus, and all that other stuff kind of is for the media and for the fans.
They rank near the top of the league with the 10 interceptions. So, what are they doing well to get those numbers? And
yeah, I think scheme and players. I mean, you have a good scheme that they've been doing for a long time. I know Coach Zimmer went to Minnesota, but their defense coordinator there was there last year, and just building on that scheme with the same players. When you can have scheme plus players over a good period amount of time, guys know how to play the system and play it well. Thanks.